I still remember that night. The crying, the shouting, and how the villagers dragged 3 boys into the dark forest. Boys we all knew. It started like a normal story, the kind that doesn't look like trouble at first. There were 3 boys, Chike, Emeka, and Uche. They grew up in the same town as me. Chike and Emeka were always moving around with money, but no one really knew where they got it. Uche, the quiet one, worked at his small clothing shop. He helped his boss sell shirts and trousers by the roadside. Every evening after work, Uche would see Chike and Emeka at the bar near his shop. They were always drinking, laughing, and spending freely. One evening, Uche asked them, "How do you people get all this money?" Chike laughed and said, "We just work, my brother." Uche didn't believe them. "What kind of work?" he asked again. They just smiled and left. Days later, they came again. Uche asked the same question, and this time, they told him to come to their house if he really wanted to know. That night, Uche went. They gave him rice and chicken, real food, not the kind he could afford on his small pay. After eating, they told him the truth. They said they had been stealing. Uche shouted, "No, I can't do that kind of thing." He left and went home. But that night, lying on his bed, he couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about their money, their clothes, their freedom. He said to himself, "If I just steal once, I'll use the money to start my own business." So the next morning, he went back to them and said he was ready. That evening, they told him their plan. They were going to rob the king of their village. They said the king's son had brought home a lot of money and they would take it. At night, the 3 of them left town and went to the village. They wore masks and carried guns. When they entered the king's house, the king woke up in fear. They pointed a gun at him and shouted for him to bring all his money. The king gave them everything. But Chike wanted to shoot the king. Uche stopped him. "No, let us just go," he said. And they ran outside. But as they were leaving, Emeka fired a gun into the air. That was a big mistake. The sound woke the whole village. The youth came out with sticks and machetes. They chased the 3 boys through the bush and caught them near the stream. When they brought them back to the village square, people lit lamps. Everyone gasped when they saw their faces. "Ah, it's Chike, Emeka, and Uche." Their mothers ran out crying. They fainted when they saw their sons tied up. The king said they must be punished according to the old law, the same law from their great-grandfathers. He said robbers must be taken to the forest. One of their elder brothers, who lived in America, called the villagers and begged them to release the boys. He said he would pay back all the money, but the villagers said no. "The law is the law," they replied. That night, they took the 3 boys to the forest. Uche cried and begged. He said, "Please, it was my first time. I swear, it was my first time." Nobody listened. They were killed and buried there under the tall trees, where no one ever goes alone. If you learned something from this story, please don't forget to follow for more story coming soon.